station.
Hyderabad Express, Railway Station, Netaji Bhogle.
Hello and welcome to Voltas. FreshAir Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. Well, the story in Hyderabad is a little different from what people would have expected when Rishabh Pant put Hyderabad into bat. Remember, they were coming off the back of a 286 that they scored in their home ground. It was not to be the day of their batters today because they were restricted. Yes, I use the word restricted to 190 for 9. And, well, I guess it's validated that I use that word because Lucknow has got their easy-peasy 4 overs to spare almost with 5 wickets in hand. And they have registered a win. I don't think they've exactly erased the trauma of the previous year's loss to Hyderabad. But, well, this is quite a resounding win. I'm Gaurav Kapur, with me Michael Vaughan and Harsha Bhogle. Harsha, again, they can't wipe that day away, but they came pretty close to it. This is quite a resounding win, you'd say?
The story of the day is Mehman Nawazi.
That's right, yeah.
Aiye,
Yeah.
come, we'll look after you. You're from Lucknow, but we have our own Tehzeeb from Hyderabad.
But I thought Lucknow would, and that's why Lucknow at the toss said Pehle Aap.
Pehle aap, correct? Pehle aap. Sorry, we'll explain it.
We will give you context. But aren't you speaking Hindi? Like Kane Williamson?
He's doing well on the telly. It's remarkable how he's learnt Hindi so quickly.
Yeah, he's a quick learner.
Yeah.
Hyderabad again.
But they got SRH'd themselves.
Nice, I like that.
Because they had everything done onto them as they did to others.
Yes.
And they got demolished. LSG played exactly like SRH would against them.
Yeah.
And as Michael was telling us just before we got it, they got all their calls right.
Yeah, I would say that from Rishabh Pant and Justin Langer's point of view, Zahir Khan, that couldn't have gone more to plan.
Yeah.
Win the toss, stick them in, try and get a few early ones, just restrict them, hope that you're chasing somewhere around 200, and they'd chase it down with, well, they didn't really break sweat. They lost Markram early, and that actually was a mistake.
Yeah.
Because it brought Pooran out there. And that was as good an innings that you can get. That's why I always say in T20 cricket, you know, Nicholas Pooran's the kind of player that can bat anywhere from 3 to 6. He's such a good player. And there'll be some teams that, use him down the back end. He's such a powerful striker. And if you look at his averages across 3, 4, 5, 6, you know, now down at number 6, he's got a tremendous average and a tremendous strike rate. But when you're that good, 120 balls, just simplify the game. You want your best players facing as many balls as you possibly can. And he's certainly one of those.
Yesterday, Shimron Hetmeyer batted at 8.
Yeah.
The number 8. Sometimes it's just tight.
Do you know what? That, for me, is Rajasthan in a heartbeat. Overcomplicating life.
Yeah.
Hasaranga batted at 5.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, come on.
Maybe they just forgot. Do you remember one year when
forgot
Lucknow...
he was there?
Yeah. Remember one year when Lucknow forgot that Marcus Stoinis was there? He just forgot. And I think he batted at 12 or something, right? He just never came out.
And do you think Rajasthan forgot that they had a good bowling attack last year and just let them all go because they've forgotten how good they were?
I think there's so much cricket happening that amnesia is setting in. But, well, this is one Pooran knock that we will not forget in a hurry. And that's why he's our coolest performer, powered by Voltas FreshAir Coolers, powerful air throw and ultimate comfort. Well, there's ultimate comfort when you've got a guy like Pooran at number 3, can do what he can do to all the bowlers.
And he's cool.
Yeah.
He was just so cool. 6, 94 meters, 93 meters.
Yeah.
I mean, we talk about pushing the boundary ropes back, and these guys must be sitting there and laughing their heads off, asking them to push the boundary ropes how much? 2 meters?
Yeah.
I'm clearing by 20.
Correct.
And they were hitting them in the second tier in Hyderabad, not the smallest boundaries.
Yeah, correct.
And he's something else. And like Hetmeyer, he spent some time being pushed down at 6 and 7. He plays round the circuit. He's ostensibly from the West Indies and Trinidad, though I don't think he spends more than a month a year there.
True.
And he just goes and scores runs everywhere. I think last year he hit 176s or something. 176s last year, something like that.
Yeah.
Well, in T20 cricket since 23, he's averaged 79 against spin with a strike rate of 187.
Yeah.
And he was also very cool even when he dropped the catch.
Yeah.
Even when he dropped Travis Head, he was cool.
Yeah. That's true. Thankfully, Travis Head didn't get too many after that because Travis Head could have done what Pooran did. But yeah, today...
Where he's clever And even, you notice when he was facing Pat Cummins,
Yeah.
he was reading Pat Cummins, because every time he saw Pat go to the slow ball, he went back and he tried to cut him. But every time he knew there was a pace on ball, he either got his left leg out of the way, or there was one time he went across and just flicked it down to fine leg, because he knew there was going to be pace on the ball. To have that ability is not just about striking a cricket ball, it's about reading the bowler, knowing what's going to come, and by knowing what's coming, he can get himself in better position to strike the ball.
And that's what he did today. And Harsha, didn't Lucknow have a number 3 problem last year? They tried a bunch of people, right? It was a bit of a musical chairs at number 3, wasn't it?
There was lots happening.
Yeah.
KL Rahul was opening the batting.
Yeah, I remember they played a lot. Huda was tried at 3. They tried a lot of people at 3. Yeah. So I think this is a permanent answer to that.
They just need to find another opener. Because I actually think Markram and Pant can interchange.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll see that. I think we'll see Pant at the top of the order. Yeah. Whether it's the next game, because they've won, they'll probably go, we've played well, we've won a game of cricket, we'll go again. But I think we'll see Rishabh at the top of the order.
Here's the thing, right? If you're a bowler, and Markram's a great player, right? Don't get me wrong. But if you're a bowling attack and you know that the power play means Mitchell Marsh and Rishabh Pant walking out, and then you get one of them out and you have Nicholas Pooran at 3, that's not something that bowlers want to see.
No. You talked about cool. Yeah. The guy who was at the other end is anything but cool. There's reason he's called.
And he was playing the anchors role today in front of Pooran.
And he still got 52 off, 30 odd?
Yeah, that's the anchors role.
That's the anchor, yeah.
Yeah, it was... And that's what Pooran did, right? Pooran can make a 30-ball 50 look like the anchor's role because he was just absolutely destructive. And that's why he's our coolest performer, powered by Voltas FreshAir Coolers, powerful air throw, ultimate comfort. It was 70 of 26. That's 6, 4, 6. It's just
hit sixes for fun.
Insanity.
Did you see he hit... I don't know, Simarjeet or Sham. He just hit 2 straight sixes. Yeah. And he just hit them. Didn't even bother to see where the ball was going. Okay. Can I go back to page 22 of the comic book that I was reading?
Yeah, well, the thing is that when he hits the ball, he doesn't need to see where it's going. It's the spectators who need to watch whether it's landing on their head. But he was fantastic. Let's have a look at the rest of the batters for Lucknow. Remember, the total at Hyderabad was not imposing, right? And after Pooran did what he did, it was just completely easy. After that, there was a little bit of a march past, right? After Pooran went, Mitchell Marsh, there was Rishabh Pant, Ayush Badoni. They all went rather quickly, but it kind of deceives you a little bit, this scorecard, Michael, because I don't think Lucknow was ever in any trouble.
That is as easy a 191 chase that I remember watching.
Yeah.
They've done it in 16.1 overs. They lose the wicket early and you think, they're going to stumble. If Pooran or Mitchell Marsh gets out in the first 2 or 3 overs, it could have been a little bit of a panic on. But once Pooran started going, once Mitchell Marsh started going, that was basically starting to go, what over they're going to finish?
Yeah.
It was a pitch that seemed to get a little bit better, if we're honest. It seemed to skid on quite nicely. But when you've lost the first game, pressure builds in the IPL, probably more so than any other tournament. And particularly even an international 5-match series, you lose the first one, I don't think you're under as much pressure as they get in the IPL.
Yeah.
The owners start to give you a little bit of grief, I can imagine, in the kind of team room, on the plane, wherever you see them. So you have to get a win inside the first couple of games. So it was so important that Lucknow just reacted to losing the first game. And that's as good a performance that you can get. And with the ball as well. They were excellent with the ball. They were a little bit more skillful. We didn't see that in the first game. Shardul, the Lord, he had a great night. We saw the Prince, who bowled, as well as I've seen him. He didn't have a great night in the first night, but he responded. So I think it was more of a night for the bowlers to respond to what happened in the first game, and particularly against the SRH batting lineup. And they bowled tremendously well.
Can other teams look at this and say, all right, the Hyderabad batting is mortal?
It is. I mean, every batting lineup is mortal, but they won't bat like this every day.
Yeah.
They'll come out another day and they just keep firing. But they've got these 4 big batters. Hyderabad with Head, Abhishek, Ishan Kishan, 5, Nitish Reddy and Klaasen. If you can get into them early, like they lost 2 wickets early today, then you've got a chance. If their openers get going, then you're really struggling. Then you're looking at 220, 230 like we thought they'd get every time. So there's a chance only if you get in early. I also think there's a chance on a slightly slowish surface. I'd love to see SRH go and play like this in Chennai, for example.
Yeah.
So maybe that is where their Achilles heel is. I mean, last year they lost 5 games. You think of last year and you think SRH just hammered everything. They still lost 5 games.
Yeah.
So maybe that is the way to play SRH on a track that's slightly stopping. But if you're playing them, you've got to get 2 wickets early.
But this pitch, right? We were talking at the halfway point that this pitch may have something in it. Did it? Did it seem like that in the second half?
It didn't have a lot.
Right? No.
I didn't see too much in terms of problems for the batters in the second innings.
Yeah.
There was more problems for the fans in the stands getting hit.
Yeah. With the multiple fours
And there was no
multiple
dew.
sixes.
You could understand if there was dew and the ball was coming on, they were just hitting through the line. There was no dew.
Yeah, so it was, again, a batter's paradise. So I think that's what makes the Lucknow bowlers' performance stand out even more. I started the show talking about the trauma they would have carried from the loss last year when you lose in 9 overs like that. I know that is not been reversed today, but this is quite a big win. It's not just a win, it's a big win.
Yeah, and sometimes teams beating other teams can give an indication to the other teams playing someone like the Sunrisers of what to do.
Yeah.
So, for instance, Travis said, do you go wide or into the hip? Which teams generally do, which basically says to get him out, he's got to make a mistake. Yeah. Or you're hoping he just puts one in the air. Today they went dead straight. He got 47, but he still bowled him. Will teams now go straight and just hope he misses one? Abhishek was caught on the boundary to a short ball. Will they target him with a few short balls? They bowled wide and slow to a lot of the right-handers. All right, they had a bit of fortune. A couple went to the kind of point field on the boundary, one to extra cover. Well, with that's the way to go. And other teams will follow that, go wide and slow to the right-handers. So there's indications of, I wouldn't say a weakness, they haven't got a weakness, but there are certain little things that other teams might follow against the Sunrisers. But it was one of those nights. I mean, Klassen's run out.
Yeah.
You look at that and think, it's just not their night. And I'm sure Pat Cummins and Daniel Vittori, they'll be in the dressing room and say, lads, don't worry about that.
Yeah.
That's just put that to one side. Bet that's not a worry for us.
Still a very satisfying win.
Yeah.
If you remember, people were saying, how do you stop SRH from scoring 300? Ask Lucknow to bat first and then chase it down.
Yeah.
So that's the only way to stop them from scoring 300.
Yeah.
So from that point of view, I mean, ever since Lucknow would have landed in Hyderabad, all the talk they would have heard was much like we started our show, up to Par Teen So Par.
True.
And that was a lot of the conversation. So for them to go back and say, you know what, we came here, we won, and we're taking 2 points back, would be very satisfying. I mean, as you said, not as dramatic as the loss last year, but deeply satisfying.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of that trauma is perpetuated by even the way we started the show. That was pretty much the emotion everywhere. Like, why is Lucknow put Hyderabad into bat? I think it was great that they had a plan, they backed it, their bowlers executed the plan, and then their batters just got the job done. I want to talk about 2 shots in particular, because I know they didn't get too many runs. Rishabh Pant got 15 and Ayush Badoni got just 6. But there was one shot that Rishabh Pant hit, which was like a standing sweep for 6.
Into the second tier.
Into the second tier. When he hits that shot, you're like, all right, I want some more of that. I want to see more of that.
I think someone needs to unleash him. I think when he comes in at 4, he's almost letting the situation dictate him. He's saying, okay, what do I do here? That's why I think he must just go up. And I'll tell this story again. I said it a few days back. When I met him last year or a year before, and I said, where do you want to bat? He said, I want to open.
Yes.
He said, but everybody wants to open, so I don't get room. But now he's captain. He can do what he wants. I mean, he was captain at Delhi as well. So he can go and open the batting and then play those shots with freedom and just say, Rishabh, unlock yourself.
He's that player that, you look at Pooran batting at number 3.
Yeah.
Rishabh's that player that I'm talking about, that they're almost, because he can play in all the, he could be brilliant at the top, he could be brilliant at 3, he's put in at number 4, he could probably play a great role at 5 and 6. But fundamentally, I'll be looking at Rishabh going, can he get me 120 on his own? Yes, he can. Where's he most likely to get 120 from at the top of the order?
And yet, for all his belligerence and all those great test match innings he's played, he still hasn't become the T20 player that we all think he should. His T20 numbers are very good. But
They're very good, but not by his own standard.
when you see Rishabh Pant batting in Test cricket, he's less like a breath of fresh air.
He's going to be an all-time great in Test cricket.
He looks like he belongs. He can do what he wants. Yes. So you look at him and say, man, he'll kill it in T20 cricket.
And the thing is that
he hasn't as much.
If they lose the early wickets anyway, just like Hyderabad did today, and we were talking about Henrik Klassen and Nitish Reddy playing that role where you kind of just batten down the hatches, Markram is really good to do that at 4. And Markram's good to hit the ball as well.
And also when Rishabh came in at number 4, outside of the power play, he can get bounced. Yeah. So what did Pat Cummins do the first couple? He bowled him a couple of beauties. Yeah. A couple of real sharp bounces, kind of like, shook him up a bit. But you can't really you can afford to try a bouncer in the power play, but it's a huge risk because you flap it flies, and you know you've only got 2 fielders outside the circle, it's going to go somewhere. Whereas when all the fielders are out barring 4, you can really target a player like Rishabh Pant when he comes in at number 4 outside of the power play with 2 or 3 short balls early. So there's 2 or 3 dot balls really that you can put in under Rishabh as soon as he goes out there if you're a quick bowler. Put him at the top of the order. He's got a 125 in him. Get him at the top.
Yeah, I mean, Michael, tell them, what's the point of being captain if you don't go out and bat first?
I'll ring him. I haven't got his number, but I'll find it.
We'll all ring him.
Just all ring him. Get to the top of the order.
Actually, I tell you what, let's just ring Zach.
Yes.
Let's do that.
We've got his number.
You've got his number.
Yeah. Let's call him now. We're calling you on Cricbuzz Live, Zach. Why isn't he batting there?
Zach, we have a fan request.
Yeah.
Can we please see your captain opening the batting? Because him with Mitch Marsh and Pooran, well, I'm telling you, that's going to be a pretty solid 1-2-3 as well. That rivals the kind of destruction of 1-2-3 that we see with Hyderabad, and we talk about that.
Absolutely.
And you know what? It doesn't matter because you've got a David Miller below.
Correct.
And David Miller's a world-class middle-order player. So he's there at 5 if something goes wrong. So Markram 4, Miller 5.
Yeah, Sam had struck it nicely tonight. He finished the innings off nicely.
That's why Hyderabad stayed with him for so many years, hoping he'd do that for Hyderabad. And he didn't do it as consistently. And here today, he was hitting Zampa like he was a net bowler.
Yeah.
And that's Adam Zampa. We're talking one of the top T20 bowlers in the world.
Yeah. He was
22 of 8.
absolutely brilliant. Got to just take a second to also doff our hat to Harshal Patel for that catch of Ayush Badoni. Running in 30 meters plus and diving and getting that catch. That was good.
Yeah, very good. 31 metres he ran in, sprinted in. He released it very quick. I'd want to keep it in my hands a little bit longer if I was him. But yeah, the fielding and the catches, it doesn't surprise. It surprises me how many simple catches get dropped in this era. The brilliant catches, again, it doesn't surprise me how many are taken because we see so many. But I do get surprised of how many simple catches get dropped. I mean, look at Pooran's tonight. He's a keeper. It's as simple as they come.
He almost ran in as many meters as his age. He almost ran in as many meters as his age.
He's a little older. He's a little older than that, which is what makes the catch even better.
Yeah, but he keeps playing cricket around the year. It's not that he's
not wet behind the ears, for sure.
He keeps playing cricket around the year.
I got to say, though, with the bowling for Hyderabad, it was pretty clever that they bowled the first over with Abhishek, who only gave 3 away. Now, you look at them getting 119, 16 overs and say, well, the first over just gave 3 runs. How many did they get after that? Well, plenty. But, yeah, the other bowlers of Hyderabad, this is what it looked like. He was expensive. They got him back, and you're like, hang on, wait a second, don't be too cute. He went for 17.
And you know what happened there? He was bowling to Mitch Marsh.
Yeah.
And Marsh took a single only on the 4th ball.
And then 2 sixes.
Then
Boom, boom.
2 sixes, gone.
JNicholas Pooran. So there you go. Simarjeet, who looked very... Well, actually, I think they just had everybody's number today, didn't they, Michael?
Yeah, well, you've sometimes got to be careful because obviously we talk about Hyderabad's batting and the power and the huge scores that they get. They've got to be careful that the bowlers don't lose confidence.
Yeah.
Because their bowlers are bowling on this road.
Yep.
You look at those numbers. I mean, Pat Cummins has done well tonight, but he went for 60 in the first game. Zampa's been destroyed really tonight.
Yeah.
Shami's gone at 12s today. So you kind of go, got to be careful with your bowling attack that they don't just bowl on roads in your home venue and then you suddenly get on there. You're expecting them to deliver and they're not full of confidence. So, I'm yet to see a team win a major event playing just one style of cricket.
Yeah.
I'm just worried that the Sunrisers just play this one style of cricket, and they might just have to go up and down in the gears. Yes, go aggressive when you can, but it might be not possible every time that you go out to bat. And tonight they fell short because they were ultra aggressive. Had a little bit of fortune, but they're ultra aggressive. And if they played a little bit smarter, would they have got 220, 230? Again, that's hindsight.
Yeah.
But I've not seen a team yet win a franchise league or a national major tournament by playing just one style of cricket.
What if it'll become like RCB, where every team wants to go and play there? So they come to Hyderabad and they do unto them as they did unto you. So that'll be interesting to watch as the season goes along.
Yeah.
Is everybody coming to Hyderabad and doing a Hyderabad on them?
Yep.
So that'll be interesting to watch.
Fair point. But, I mean, Pat Cummins today, it's a great point that you're saying. Can you keep your bowling unit inspired as they go elsewhere? Because if they're getting thrashed at the home venue for half the season, then what do you do? But tell me honestly, will Pat Cummins really be worried with the economy rate of Ishan Kishan today?
Well, maybe he's found something there. Maybe that's the way to go.
Yeah, that 24
To be
economy
fair,
rate.
by the time they play their 5th game at home, he might have to bowl because all the rest of the bowlers will be saying, I ain't bowling on that.
Yeah, I'm sitting out this one.
No,
They had a
thanks.
2.5 minute timeout. That could have been what they were discussing.
That was, I thought that was really cute that he came into bowl one ball. Maybe hoping to do what Adam Gilchrist did.
He's bowled one ball.
Just one ball, one wicket.
Yeah.
Adam Gilchrist in the history of the IPL. Gilly, we're missing you. Adam Gilchrist, of course, will be joining us soon in this season as well on Cricbuzz Live. So, yeah, Ishan Kishan, another left-handed wicket keeper, thought he could do the same thing. Didn't happen for him today. All right, let's have a look at the points table because Lucknow is off the mark as well. So they've managed to get the 2 points here. And, of course, because they won by this big margin with 4 overs to spare, their net run rate has got a booster shot. Of course, not as convincing as Bangalore's win in that opening game at the Eden Gardens. But there they are. Then this Punjab, Chennai, and Hyderabad has slipped down because they did get that decent win against Rajasthan. But today's loss, well, that's
A big loss. They've gone to minus.
yeah, it's a big one. It's negated all the good work in that Rajasthan game. So, yeah, well, there they are. Okie dokie. Let's talk about the game coming up tomorrow because that's what everybody's waiting for. Red v yellow. Red v yellow.
In the land of the yellow.
In the land of the yellow.
The land of the yellow.
It's very important because there's a 100-run difference between the two pitches, isn't it?
And there's 3 spinners waiting there.
Yeah.
Bangalore won with spin, let's be fair. In the first game, Krunal Pandya bowled beautifully for them. So they did well there. But there's Ashwin, Jadeja, Noor. That's 11 or 12 overs, 100%.
Yep.
Happening over there.
Of
Maybe,
top class.
and maybe a bit of ratching.
Maybe a bit of Rachin if it comes to that, yeah. They went big on Noor Ahmed, so and he delivered 4 wickets. So don't be surprised if it's that kind of track.
It's a spin. It is going to be that kind of track, right, in Chennai?
It'll be
Just
exactly the
always
same.
is.
I mean,
There's a curator who listens to the team.
there was yeah, exactly. and the cameras were on Ashwin after the game, the first game, and who was he next to? The curator. He was just having a little word. He'll be
He's a little
declaring
slower.
Yeah,
just a little slower.
that was good, but if you could just get just a bit more, that'd be nice and handy.
Yeah, I mean, if that pitch got any slower, the game would finish the next day. That's how slow that is anyway. Let's have a look at the teams and see if they would make any changes. They're both coming off a win, Chennai against Mumbai and Bangalore against Kolkata. So, I mean, here's...
They don't change.
They don't change. And Patirana still recovers. He's still not...
Obviously, maybe he's still not fit.
Yeah, that's what they've said. He's still not. If he is, he plays.
Yeah, but they selected well in that who can play a Patirana kind of role, who bowls at the end wherever he plays, and that's Nathan Ellis.
Yeah.
So they picked a Nathan Ellis to do a Patirana role. I'd still like them to have Ruturaj Gaikwad opening the batting and Tripathi at 3.
Yeah.
But the thinking is, look, just give Tripathi the freedom. It doesn't matter if he gets out. There's Ruturaj coming, and he looked in sensational form against Mumbai.
But again, it's very typical of Chennai. They've got a plan, and they'll stick to that plan. So
won't change
Tripathi will go at the top, and
they won't change
Raj is going to number 3. And I thought Rachin Ravinder's innings was. I mean, we've seen some great innings over the course of the first week, but I think Rachin's was up there because he controlled the knot, controlled the kind of chase, and at times he kind of dug in and knocked it to the gaps and hit 1s and 2s, and then he had to hit a boundary or 2, and he was not out at the end. That was a proper innings.
He's kept out one of Chennai's favourite sons, Devon Conway.
Yep.
They really like Devon Conway. I think they paid twice or thrice as much as they paid for Rachin.
Yeah, I also don't... Devon Conway didn't have a very good SA20.
No.
Plays for,
He's been in out of...
Plays for the CSK franchise.
He's been out of
there.
form. He lost his place in the New Zealand side as well. So he's been out of form.
Yeah, and I guess, there is emotion, but there is... This is another thing that baffles me about Chennai with their auction, right? I mean, there's only, 24, 25 players. But somehow for every position, they seem to have 3 options. They have a backup and a backup to a backup. How do they do that? The math doesn't math. They just do it. It's like you mentioned with Nathan Ellis doing what Patirana does. Yeah. They've got spinners doing that middle order, top order. They've got Rachin Ravindra for Devon Conway. It's just they keep...
And their highest paid player in the auction was 10 crores.
Was Noor.
Yeah, they didn't go and splurge 15, 16, 18, 20 crores on people.
And the bidding was very interesting with that. It was like an old Hindi film from the 80s where they went from 5 crores to 10 crores.
Yeah.
There was a straight jump.
Remember that Stephen Fleming doing that,
Yeah, it's a great signing for their pitch and the fact they're playing 6 of the first 7 games at home. And I'd say we mentioned spin, but Khalil Ahmed was fantastic.
He was.
He got 3 for 29, pulling a bit of left arm swing. So he's actually my player to watch. I think left arm against RCB. I think he'll have a good night.
I like that. Okay, let's have a look at the Bangalore team as well and see if they make any changes. Let's bring that squad on. Where are they? There they are. All right. They don't think they would.
They could make one change.
Can they add another spinner, Swapnil?
Yeah, no, they could make one change. I know Tim David's a really good player and whatever, but his strike rate against spin tends to go down.
No, but
they might play Jacob Bethel and get that left-arm spin bowling option. I mean, he's not like front-ranking left-arm spinner, but he can. So I just think the left-handedness of Bethel and the fact that Tim David doesn't hit spin with the same abandon as he hits quick bowling, and the fact that he'll give you a couple of left-arm overs, so that could be one possibility. Maybe Bethel playing for David.
Yeah, I could see that. If I'm arriving in Chennai to play against them, I'd want as many spin options as possible. And that's the problem is David's been in tremendous form.
Yeah.
He really has been hitting the ball well, and you know that David's he's really an 8 to 10 ball player. Comes right down the back end, and he can get you 30 from 8 deliveries. That's why he's, in all these franchise leagues, that's really his role. So they'll be wary of leaving him out because he's so dangerous. Yeah. But you've also got to think, Bethel with his left-arm spin is brilliant in the field, left-hand better against the spin options that Chennai have. You're going to need left-hand, right-hand combinations. So it wouldn't surprise me if they went down that route, but I think I wouldn't be sleeping nice tonight if I knew I was leaving Tim David out.
True.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember we were doing a game with Mark Waugh in Australia, and Mark was very old world. He said, this Tim David, he said, he gets such a lot of money, but he bats 12 balls, doesn't he? He bats 12 balls, doesn't he?
Yeah. If in case Bhuvi's fit, do you see him coming in place of Rasik?
Could well be, yeah.
Because
definitely.
You want that kind of experience on a pitch like Chennai. He knows it well. He's played enough international cricket.
And they want Devdutt Padikkal to slot in at that 3.
Yeah.
Because he's striking at 120 over a career.
Yeah.
So that's just that one issue with them.
Okay, let's say if he isn't.
Padikkal at 3.
Do they have any options then?
They don't have a lot of Indian batting.
Yeah.
So Padikkal they'll give him 4 or 5 games because they don't have a lot of Indian batting. But there will be a name there that you don't know that will suddenly come because they're all coming out of the woodwork this year.
That's right, with all the other teams, right? So there's a few names that...
There's a leggy there too called Mohit Rathi.
Yeah.
I don't know if they want to throw that leggy in there as well. Because otherwise they've got Suyash Sharma and Krunal Pandya with Livingston as a third spinner.
I thought Patidar as a captain had a great game first game.
Yeah.
I thought his captaincy was excellent. He obviously got a few runs, he got them quickly as well, so that'll give him a boost. To win a good game as a skipper and play nicely.
Yeah, because it's interesting. Obviously, it's a big game and two of the biggest players, marquee names of Virat Kohli and MS Dhoni are playing the game and all eyes tend to be on them. So, but with the captains, with Patidar, both Patidar and Ruturaj Gaikwad, 2 young guys want to be in India contention. In a way, it's almost good that...
Which team do they get in? 2 or 3?
I think India, right now, India... You also filled up India 3 in.
I'm having 3
But
teams.
you would have Patidar in India too, won't you?
I'd have Patidar in... would I?
Your India too, by the way, already has about 17 batters.
Yeah, but I've got to fill my 3rd team as well. So he might
Are
have
you
to play in
making
the third.
IPL squads of 25 for each of these 3 teams?
I'm having 16 in each squad.
16 in
So
each.
I need 48 players.
Yeah, easy.
Yeah.
Take you 5 minutes with a pen and paper after.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But do you think it's good that for
different
them, when you
approach,
have, these big, larger-than-life characters in your team, it almost takes a little bit... It's almost like what Rahul Dravid said about Sachin Tendulkar during his career, right? Where you say all the attention's on this guy and you can just kind of do your work with fewer eyes on you.
With RCB, that's true, with Kohli. But with MS, he's almost like Alfred Hitchcock in the movies.
Yeah.
You just see him in a scene somewhere and you know he's come out. He came into bat with 4 runs left.
But can I tell you something? It's a very good analogy that you use about Alfred Hitchcock because he's actually directing the piece.
Yes.
You may see him on screen very little.
In a shadow somewhere.
But he's actually running everything from the shadows, the crows flying around him. That's a good analogy, sir. I liked it.
But he's still keeping better than anybody else.
Oh, that stumping. I'll tell you something. After that stumping, I saw that stumping and I said, geez, that's an uncapped player to watch out for.
Exactly. And you know what Ruturaj Gaikwad
He
said?
gets in my 3rd team, by the way. I'm bringing him back.
I like
He
that.
can captain.
I like that.
He can bring the youngsters through.
Ruturaj said at the toss. So he said, yeah, we've got Suyash play, we've got so-and-so, and our young wicket keepers there. They say he's fitter than he's been at any time the last 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, well, so then there
43.
He's in your next team then.
43.
Well, Bhuvi is going to play. I've just been told that Bhuvi apparently is fine now. So he's going to play it, as we said. So probably in Rasik's place. So anyway, we'll know that at the toss tomorrow. And then we'll see you right after that at 7 p.m. Right here on Cricbuzz Live. We have our players to watch out for. We have our score guesses. We have our joy factor. There's a bit of paperwork still to do. All right? So let's go players to watch out for. You've given me a Chennai player.
Yeah, I've given Khalil Ahmed, the skipper from RCB. Patidar, I thought he was excellent. I'm gonna see if he can go 2 in 2 and be as equally as effective as a skipper and equally effective with the batting hand.
All right, great. For you?
I've got Patidar too.
Okay.
And I want to see how Noor goes for second time.
All right.
Against a team that's a very good batting side that will come out with plans against him. They know exactly what to expect of him there. So I'm very keen to see Bangalore versus Noor, how that works out.
Okay. I go Virat Kohli.
Just go.
And
Just go.
Sachin Ravindra.
Oh,
I thought you were going to say MS Dhoni.
I thought so too.
I should have.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a bit like a lot of people only see these two playing. They don't realize there's 10 other players. Right?
You're that person.
I'm not.
No, Rachin's a good bet.
Rachin's
a good bet. He played beautifully the other day.
So there you go. So Rachin and Virat are my picks.
Yeah.
All right. We had a joy factor question, which a lot of people actually answered correct. A lot of people, Michael, well, I'm sorry I pulled your leg about that, but you were right.
Is that right?
It was to do with batting and bowling.
It's the second time he's got a joy factor question, right? And you might have got.
Well, I didn't get this right.
Can I tell you something?
I got it right. It was about batting and bowling.
Yeah.
If that's getting it right, yeah, I'm happy to take it.
Which is a big call considering we were talking about cricket. So that's a way out there call. Here's the question. Have a look. I love it when you get it right without knowing why or how you got it right. In this league, what has Callis done a dozen times, Shane Watson 6 times, and Sunil Narayan 4 times. Others to have done it are Murli Vijay, Shikhar Dhawan, and Jofra Archer.
The one that's the decoy there is Murli Vijay and Shikhar Dhawan.
Yeah.
At least you can understand Murli Vijay. He bowled with a straight arm. What's Shikhar Dhawan doing in that list? So when would Shikhar Dhawan have bowled the first ball? Might have been very early in his career.
But is that the answer?
That is the answer. Opening the bowling, opening the batting.
Ah, there you go.
There you go. Open the batting, open the bowling, and Callis did it. I'm surprised that Callis did it only a dozen times.
Yeah, but he started opening the batting at KKR later. So.
Yeah, so I would have thought it was a couple of seasons at least, but somebody else
12 is a big
got
number.
it right and knew that they got it right.
Yeah. 12 is a big number though.
Yeah.
To do it 12 times.
Fair. There's somebody who actually got it right and knew what they were talking about, unlike us, and that is Sumedh.
Fergie time again.
He's a United supporter.
Yeah, he's doing well.
Well, some joy in his life finally.
I brought up...
Nice one, buddy. Nice one. Well played. Is that done? Do we have any more paperwork? Anything else? Anything else to do? Nothing?
I'll just get excited about tomorrow's game.
I've been excited about that game since I did the preview
paddle
on the Hindi
match.
show 2 days ago.
The paddle match in the morning.
Our paddle match in the morning.
You're playing against each other? Singles?
we
doubles?
could.
How do you play? I've never seen paddles. So
No, it's 2. It's pairs.
It's 2v2. So
okay.
it could be. Could be, yes. By the way, nobody...
Do you always play with younger players who do all the running so that you can just sit back and do
Of
nothing?
course. Sometimes I get a chair. I'll be at the net. You guys do your thing, all right? Because even when I'm sitting at the net, I'm still taller than most players. All right, nobody got our guessing game right. Let's not look at the leaderboard.
I think there should be marks for coming close.
All right, we'll give you those.
That's the only chance I got.
So we'll give you 1 for coming close, but you get a -1 for getting it wrong. So there you are.
Even among the zeros, like Joy and Karthik are still above me.
Do they have a better net run rate?
No, I think they've done fewer games or something like that. They just find different ways to put me down.
No, I'll tell you what it is. It's because you've had more chances.
I
That's
don't know
why.
what it is.
Yeah, that's it. So Siamese had the most without getting one right, then you, then Murlika. So that's how it goes.
I mean, I was almost there today.
You were almost there.
Yeah,
But
just 30 short.
Yeah. You know what they say about almost. It ain't good enough. All right. That's all we have time for. We're going to see 3 of us are coming back here at 7 p.m. tomorrow. So we're going to see you then. Big thank you to Michael Vaughan and Harsha Bhogle. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
And have a good game tomorrow.
Thank you. We will.
Sleep
And
well.
don't exert yourself too much. I don't want to be the only one here tomorrow evening.
I just want to ask you a quick question. Who's your player to watch out for tomorrow? In our paddle game at 9:30.
Who's your partner?
Who are the other 2?
Especially given you're going to be sitting.
It's just 1 hour. We usually play 2, so we'll be fine. I'm watching you.
Yeah.
No, but it's very important. The senior player plays a very, very important role.
All right, so Michael, that's
Just
on you.
remember to bring me a bat.
Yeah.
I've got a bat.
That's important.
Yeah.
That's important. Can't play paddle without a paddle. All right, I'm Gaurav Kapur, and you were watching Voltas Fresh Air Coolers presents Cricbuzz Live. Is all we have time for. Good night. See you tomorrow.
दिल्ली में आपका स्वागत लखनऊ जंक्शन